Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to AER, where we discuss all about politics and sometimes other random stuff. I'm with Jonathan here, and we're going to introduce here a special guest from LPA, and he'll be talking about what he is doing and what his goals are and what his vision is. So, and that his name is Sean Miller, and we'll have him on right now.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Sean?
Hey,
What's going
nothing
on,
much.
bro?
Just living the dream, guys. How about you?
Yeah, same here, bro. It's long time no see.
Yeah, long time no
Definitely,
see, Sean.
It's been a minute.
I'm glad I could do this.
Yeah, for sure, dude. We know we just got a couple of questions regarding what you play. I have genuine questions about that stuff because Zophie, we were talking about. He was talking to me about what you were doing, and I was kind of wanting to learn more, and I thought it was pretty cool. It's a cool concept. It really is. And so, what is that? What motivated you first of all to go through with this? Like, what was your motivation?
So I'll go ahead and introduce myself first. My name is Sean Miller. For those who are watching that don't know me, I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Liberty Policy Alliance, LPA for short. And what really motivated me to start my own organization, especially in the liberty movement, was because I was watching from within the movement, within certain parts of the movement itself, that there were a lot of people in the movement that didn't necessarily they cared so much as they wanted to keep the movement alive, but they were willing to do so much as to keep the movement alive, but they weren't willing to do so much as to get actual libertarian ideals, policies, even libertarian politicians elected into office. There was a lot of undercutting, there was a lot of backstabbing, and I was
Yeah,
tired of it, and I figured I'd just take the lessons that I learned and make my own org, make my better org, and make an org in this so-called libertarian movement
exactly.
that everybody, no
Yep.
matter where they identify as a libertarian, can be proud of, can look to as like a shining example of what a libertarian org actually looks like.
Right. No, that's awesome, dude. No, yeah, that it really is. What strategies do you have though? What strategies do you have to promote, essentially this cause that you're doing?
We're actually taking a lot of what we learned at there's a lot of us, Zolfi included, and I think I saw Anthony Orwick here. We're taking the lessons that we learned from our previous employer and using that those strategies, but being more direct, more bold than our previous employer was willing to go. Be more direct, be more in people's faces. We're also using social media. We're constantly
Yep.
trying to engage about certain bills, about certain causes, and we're just
Yep.
constantly it's a constant level of engagement, and I'm hoping that we can really take off in this first year.
That's great. And I don't know if you guys know my past with Sean, but he was my field director in New Hampshire. He taught me a lot of things. Sean's a great guy, and there's nobody else to bring nobody better to bring this message to you than Sean Miller. He's been a Liberty guy for a long time. He's been fighting for Liberty. He's known as a Liberty guy for sure.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
so
for sure.
Sean, why don't you tell us what have been the biggest challenges in achieving your goals here with the LPA?
So I will say, when I started like the sort of planning aspects of the LPA back in like October and November, and I still had a bunch of guys who were out doing electoral stuff going into the election. That was a big part of it. We're so scattered at the moment. We're not in a central location, so it's hard to plan around everybody's schedules. That's another big thing. The next biggest thing is just obviously money. You need money whether you're running a business, running a campaign, or running a nonprofit organization. Like the next biggest challenges just seem to be like how every sort of like regulatory step we have to go through, filing paperwork, paying these fees to government bureaucrats so they can give us the privilege of acknowledging that we exist. Those have probably been the biggest things, like time, space, money, and bureaucracy.
Absolutely. I mean, if it was easy, then we'd all be doing it. We'd all be the president of our own nonprofits and be doing these
Right.
things. But it takes a lot. So, what advice would you give the people who want to get involved in advocating for liberty or who want to start their own nonprofit organization? organization?
I think the biggest advice I would give somebody who's, whether they're just starting out, as far as like getting involved in liberty, in the liberty movement, I would take it that they were just starting out. I would tell them to look into a bunch of organizations, look into their local, whether it's the Republican Party Liberty Caucus, if they're still more of a Republican than an actual libertarian, or to look to get involved in their actual libertarian party. Do things like Young Americans for Liberty hosts grassroots activism trainings all the time. They do those sorts, get involved that way. Get involved, join a campaign, whether it's for a candidate or that you really like. I would say do your research into that sort of person, whether or the organization that you would be knocking for, because you don't want to for somebody who you really don't agree with on principle. So I would say do your research, join your local party, join an advocacy group like YAL, or hopefully when we get really going, the LPA will have door knocking operations and we can train activists, whether they're paid activists or volunteers. So that's something that's it's a long-term goal, but it's already in the works, because I'm a big fan of already having those plans. But and then just talk to people, network with people. If you go to an event, and this goes for starting your own nonprofit too, network with people, make connections, whether you're working grassroots or attending an event like Y'all's Revolution Conference or SAS with TPUSA or even CPAC this past weekend. Make connections, network, get people's information, talk constantly. Use social media to your advantage, whether it's adding on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm on Twitter Spaces all the time with a former colleague of ours, Sean Darlin, and I use Twitter Spaces to talk with different people with different walks of life who are interested in politics. So use social media to your advantage. And when it comes to starting a nonprofit, whether it's in politics or not, do your research on as far as what type of nonprofit you want to be. Do you want to be a 501c3, an educational organization? Do you want to be a 501c4 and does actual advocacy? Do you want to be a PAC? There's numerous sort of nonprofit variations that can be classifications, I should say, that you would really need to look into to make sure that you are starting the right one, because that way you don't have the IRS coming down knocking on your door down the road.
Yeah,
for sure.
government bureaucracy tends to be a problem in any type of business or pretty much anything.
Everywhere, in every aspect.
So I know LPA is doing a lot of things. You guys post some things on your Instagram and Facebook regarding little house bills and things like that you guys would like people to call their state representatives about. So if you could urge people watching American Experiment Radio, the people that are watching this podcast, to take a look at one policy or house bill that they could call their state rep and advocate for, what would it be?
If I had to pick just one at the moment, it's probably our crux issue to start off here. House Bill 543 in Florida state legislature. That's their version of constitutional carry, but it's boneless constitutional carry. There's no open carry. It really only touches permitless carry. It doesn't get rid of it doesn't get rid of gun-free zones. It doesn't get rid of red flag laws, and it's like half talking about guns and then other like filler. It's a leader, what we call a leadership bill. Like the meat and potatoes are like at the beginning, sure, gets your eye if you're reading it. The rest of it's just garbage. It's just absolute garbage. But the most important thing about the bill is there's no open carry. There's concealed carry, which is already legal in Florida, but you can't open carry in Florida without special government permissions or going to and from like fishing and hunting. So the biggest thing I would say is if you live in the state of Florida, call your state representative, call your state senator, I don't even care if you call Governor DeSantis, tell them that, hey, I want open carry included in this constitutional carry bill, or else I will vote for somebody who will give me this. So that's the biggest issue that we want people to like really start calling in about.
You said that was House Bill 543 in Florida, right?
Yeah.
So I want to say something real quick. So
it is Chuck Brannon.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. So going back to this whole thing, right? I really like this idea because, and knowing you, Sean, I work with you. We've worked together, and you do understand what it takes to run something like this, because you've been through you've suffered through like all these, what's ever happened before in the past, and through other people's errors, you can do things a better way, right? And I think that's very valuable that you experienced the things that you have experienced, because that in this this way you can now like you have a whole different point of view, and I think it's very valuable. And I think I have high hopes for what you're doing, and I think
I do too.
you'll get
I
somewhere.
really respect Sean for what he's doing, and
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of people start these things too early and inexperienced. And Sean has been through a lot. And if there's anybody who deserves to do this, it was him. If he asked me to make phone calls for him or come knock for him, I would in a heartbeat. I feel like I'm
I
going
appreciate it,
to
guys.
on my
I will
16
say
lane. I think he's
I
a
will
great field director.
I will say the biggest thing right now is we're trying, like I said, we're trying to open a bank. Like I said, back to the money issue. We're trying to open a bank account so we can start taking donations. So that's the big thing. One thing, speaking of Twitter Spaces, though, we will be hosting a Twitter Space with a bunch of a gun rights ad. Speaking of constitutional carry, we'll be hosting a gun rights advocacy space. I don't know if this will get out here in time, out to the public in time, but on Thursday on Twitter, we're gonna have Austin Hine of National National Association for Gun Rights, talking about the importance of the Second Amendment, the importance of constitutional carry, and the importance of advocacy when it comes to gun rights, and with a bunch of other speakers. And I would love it for if we could get as many people in there as possible, draw some real attention to the gun rights movement, at least on Twitter.
yeah, of course.
So other than that, Sean, is there any way that people can help support the LPA?
Subscribe, and repost our stuff from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Tell your friends about us. That's the easiest thing we can do is get people to know about us. If you have an important issue that you think we can help with, we want to help. That's where I'm at with the LPA as far as where people can help us, like in-kind donations, promises to make donations, phone calls to donors about making donor calls. Sometimes the most important donations are the ones that are in kind. So
yeah, the whole point for this is to get LPA known. Circulate the information. Get it out there. That way, the more LPA is known, the more traction they'll get, and that's one way people can help support of this. And I'm really excited for you, Sean, and I'm really excited for LPA. I feel like it does have potential.
Right. So if anybody wants to get involved in grassroots politics and get in touch with the LPA to get some help, we're going to put other information in the thread, so you can just go there and check it out.
I appreciate it, guys. And like I said, we've got that space coming up this Thursday. I don't know if you guys will be able to get this out to people by then, but this Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be hosting a Twitter space with a bunch of folks on gun rights, and we're going to be talking about, like I said, we're going to be talking about the importance of the Second Amendment, the importance of constitutional carry, the importance of advocacy in the gun rights movement. So as many people as we can get out there, it'd be great. It's going to be our first real big sort of event, even though it's like more of a town hall. We're looking forward to it. I look forward to seeing as many people as we can get on there, and we'll be posting the details on social media here pretty soon.
As far as progress goes, do you feel like you've done enough, with what you're doing? Because I'm not too sure what you've done and all that stuff, but I'm interested to hear your progress.
So in the short term, there's gonna be bumps in the road. Like I said, we're trying to open an account right now, and that's usually the toughest part. But I think the long-term health is good. We've got our strategic plans in place. We've got our means of we've got all of our means in place. We've got our ideas. We understand our time. We understand our timeline. We're not going to grow too big, too fast. We're going to grow at the right pace and grow at the right time. So I'll say for now I'm content, but there's always room for improvement. I'm not perfect. I don't know anybody who is, and I think we can definitely improve on what we're able to do.
For sure.
What I've seen at the beginning of the year, I mean, I know this is a brand new org, and you guys are putting in a lot of work. I've seen your stuff on social media, and I've shared it, and I like it myself. So I know it's something that's probably going to catch on, and great things take time to build, and we definitely are here to support you. I know that Sean Miller is definitely a great FD, and he's definitely here to bring the liberty.
For sure.
And I will say the biggest thing that one thing I'm really looking to do here in the future, like once we're pretty well established, is I want to do my own grassroots trainings. I've got Anthony Orwick. He's my vice president of grassroots. great guy, biggest, brightest mind as far as when it comes to grassroots training. He would be. I want to like actually start training people to not just be like volunteers, not just to be door knockers for us or Yal or maybe Win. I want them to be able to do what. But still, so, there we go. Still, I want them to be able to do what I'm doing right now. Start their own org, start their own, like if they want to go run for office, be able to have the means of doing that. And I think and that way I'm giving back to the movement that's given me. I'm keeping people I'm giving people the means of not just advancing the movement, advancing the cause, but advancing policies that will actually free millions of people in this country, not just talk about freeing millions of people in this country.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. Well, awesome. I don't know, guys. You guys got anything else, or? Well, I don't know, guys. You guys got anything else, or?
I don't have anything else,
feedback?
Unless you guys.
Anyone else hearing that feedback?
I don't hear anything at the moment.
Should be all set. All right, we're all set. Should be all set.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys.
Yeah. Well.
Yes. I appreciate talking with you, Sean. It was hopefully things go well, and if you ever needed any assistance, you just let me know.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
I said, big things coming in the works.
For sure, Sean.
I appreciate it, guys. I really do. Big things coming in the works. I hope we can make a partnership out of this, because I think I want to be able to really not just I want to be able to push more means of getting out to folks, whether it's through the LPA or through American Experiment Radio. This is how we're in the future. We're going to win people over, is by creating a large network of a vast large network of activists via the nonprofit advocacy route, as well as the media route as well. But I really do appreciate it, guys. You guys have a wonderful night, and we'll keep in touch.
Sounds good. Hey, appreciate it, Sean.
Appreciate you guys. I'll see you later.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome, bro. I really like that. I really like that.
Absolutely. You look at somebody like Sean Miller, man. That's somebody who, dude, I would like to be him in about 3 years. You know how much stuff he knows to be able to do what he did. This guy he was just an FD. He had like 1 million people under him just a second ago, and now he started his own org. He's going to do big things. I really like where Sean Miller's going with that.
Yeah, for sure. No, the movement in general, and people like putting that effort and putting that just that spirit into it. It hypes me up for sure. Like, I'm hyped up for him. Like, I want, I hope things go well for him. And I feel like contributing too. So it's cool.
He was talking about starting his grassroots training seminars. I had a one-on-one grassroots training with him one day. My phone died, and he was FD, and for some reason he was going out to knock doors with me, and I went and knocked 200 doors with Sean Miller in New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Miller's great at the door.
Dude, not to mention Sean, bro. Sean was my field director too. So that was Sean Miller, and that was LPA. For more information and all that stuff, we'll have it down. You guys can support and all that stuff. But yeah, just follow it up.
That's it, folks. See you next week.
Absolutely. Y'all have a great one.
Yep.